Hey everyone, and thank you for having me here at India Mobile Congress. I'm going to talk to you today about why Red Hat believes open source software and technologies are key to developing and driving innovation in India, and specifically within the competitive telco sector. I want to start by sharing a couple data points and trends happening around the world, and then look closer at their relation to the Indian telco market. There's more than 7 billion mobile phone users around the globe, which is approximately 90% of the world's population. Now that's an amazing number if you think about it. And India has the second most users with over 1.1 billion mobile phone subscribers. Looking at different regions, you can see variations in mobile phone subscription types. In the United States, for example, the majority of the mobile phone users are postpaid subscribers, and that number is expected only to grow. In India, conversely, the vast majority of subscribers are prepaid. And in comparing ARPU by country, we see tremendous variability in this number. ARPU is highest in the US, according to recent Statista data, followed by countries including Canada, France, and Australia. In comparison, India's ARPU has remained at about $2 since 2017, according to Statista. So generally speaking, postpaid subscribers deliver more revenue, and by one estimate, that figure is more than double the ARPU of a prepaid subscriber. And of course, we can't forget about enterprise customers, who can deliver more consistent revenue streams for telcos. Another trend happening is the increasing surge in data consumption, and that is occurring across the globe. According to Statista data, global mobile data usage will increase significantly from 2019 to 2025, reaching an average of 34 gig per user per month in 2025. In India, the data demand is happening in entertainment content, Industry 4.0 projects, private 4G, 5G deployments, and e-education and e-health areas. In fact, it's reported that 80% of data consumption in the Indian market is going toward video. Lastly, I'll mention the hot topic of moving to 5G, because all of that mobile content is going to need fast cellular networks. Increasing ARPU becomes even more important as operators look for ROI on their 5G investments, and is also why signing up enterprises and their subscriber bases is critical. For telcos around the globe and in India, the need to operate efficiently, manage costs, and deliver new features for end users and enterprise customers is both a challenge and an exciting opportunity. This is where we at Red Hat believe that open source technologies can help telcos innovate faster and more securely by tapping into an open ecosystem to help in this important transition. Before I get into how we're helping operators, I want to share some research on open source adoption from a recent survey of over 1,200 IT leaders we did this year with Illuminos. We discovered that 90% of these IT leaders said they are using commercially supported open source technologies. And looking specifically at the responses from telco IT leaders, we found some interesting data points. Telco organizations report that the top benefits of using commercially supported open source are: number one, better security. 2, open source itself is designed to work in cloud-native environments. And 3, finally, for peace of mind to safely use open source in their IT stacks. And additionally, nearly 80% of telco respondents expect their use of open source for emerging technologies to increase in the next 2 years. Those emerging technologies include edge computing, IoT, AI, and machine learning. And taken together, these data points confirm that open source technologies are not a fringe concept. We believe open source is a core technology component for telcos who want to take advantage of emerging technologies to deliver innovative services to their customers and generate new revenue streams. So where does all of this leave Indian telco providers as we look to 5G introduction across India? Well, Red Hat is involved in multiple 5G deployments around the world, some of which are already in production. And I want to share with you some of the things we've learned. From a software and technology perspective, here are 3 key accelerators that can help telco providers ensure success. First, there are the cloud-native benefits. 5G has many defined functions and a distributed architecture, making the efficiency and flexibility of containers and microservices a great way to build a 5G network. Next, with a horizontal application platform brings a common operational model across locations and cloud domains to simplify and reduce the skills burden. And security at each layer helps reduce risks. And lastly, a broad ecosystem validates partners' functions for operators to move more confidently and quickly, bringing 5G networks and services to market. Here's what else we've learned. The next wave of transformation is occurring in RAN, which is where operators are spending most of their investment dollars. But if we dig into RAN a little deeper and look at the software components, disaggregation becomes an interesting topic. In my view, disaggregation creates value for customers by lowering costs and increasing competition, and in the end, providing more innovative solutions for everyone. The proof point for me is looking back to the transition we made from expensive, vertically integrated Unix servers in the 80s and 90s to Linux operating systems in enterprise data centers. The same evolution is happening again with ORAN. But what if we could reduce that expense and also create more healthy competition in the market and more innovation in the stack? The other benefit to consider with a disaggregated environment is that an open, common platform maximizes flexibility in deployment architectures. So the same components can be assembled at scale to serve a nationwide population, or conversely, can be scaled down to serve the edges of an enterprise in a private 5G deployment. This is a huge opportunity. But to deliver on the promise of edge computing in locations far and wide, solutions must be able to scale. And automation is the key to cost-effective scaling. And the first step is keeping deployment costs in check with zero-touch provisioning. Then it's also needed to manage the services and underlying networks across a broad geography and across clouds. With our partners, we're using our OpenShift and Ansible automation platforms to focus on zero-touch provisioning for RAN solutions that simplify server creation, hardware acceleration, and partner-driven RAN functions to deliver 5G experiences to customers. Now, as I said earlier, a broad ecosystem is critical to making all of this happen for Red Hat customers. Operators not only want the freedom to choose the cloud-native network functions with which to build 5G and edge solutions that best fit their business needs, but also the ability to expand into new services. At Red Hat, we partner with a range of companies, and with OpenShift as the foundation, service providers can choose or change where they run those solutions with confidence, on premises, private or public cloud, or managed cloud services to best fit their business requirements. The promise of 5G is exciting, but it's expensive to pay for everything that's needed to build out the technology infrastructure. One analysis by Research and Markets Group found that by the end of 2020, global 5G infrastructure costs were expected to hit $2.7 trillion, and investing in 5G infrastructure upgrades was estimated to cost about $1 trillion, which means that ROI becomes so critical. And that will be especially challenging in India, where a lower ARPU is driven by a large percentage of prepaid subscribers. To make this work, it's going to require creating and offering new services for customers and dreaming up new business models. For example, Private 5G is one area with opportunities for new revenue streams for service providers. These include things like industrial automation on the factory floor, in manufacturing, and with predictive maintenance. Always-on monitoring of patients to provide better healthcare, smart agriculture, and entertainment services in venues and stadiums, just to name a few. I had mentioned the surging demand for video content, and we see similar opportunities with immersive reality, AR and VR, all of which require edge-based solutions that can increase operators' revenue by selling new services to customers. We believe that a common, open platform is key for how telcos will create the infrastructure to bring the physical and virtual worlds together and meet the demands of both consumers and enterprises. I'll conclude by sharing just a little story with you. Nearly every time I do a media interview with an Indian news outlet, I'm asked, what does open source mean to India? I see huge potential in the large number of Indian developers who can help to evolve and grow the open source ecosystem, which then benefits companies everywhere. Open source is for anyone who wants to commit to the work, collaborate with the community, and ultimately create new software. Since new ideas and use cases can come from anywhere, open source software can help empower a startup to change the world, or at the very least, help improve a business's IT operations. In fact, startups are a key way to help expand our ecosystem of telecom partners and collaborators. Leveraging key open source technologies as industry focal points like Linux and Kubernetes enables entire industries to transform, building value in new areas and introducing cool use cases that in the end can help expand the revenue opportunities for operators. That's why we believe an open and easily accessible ecosystem that enables and encourages innovation by default is better for everyone. Thank you for your time today, and I hope you have a fantastic India Mobile Congress.